know we serve a promise-keeping Elohim. Let's proclaim it. And let's say it in street. Here we go. Wait, woo, Boshesu, Yahuwah. Wait, woo, Boshesu, Yahuwah. You say, yeah. Woo, Boshesu, Yahuwah. Wait, wait, woo, Boshesu. Here we go. Boshekula, yeah. Boshekula, Boshekula, yeah. Say Boshekula, every word you say will come to pass. Yeah. Boshekula, yeah. Let's say it in English. Say you fulfill your promises. Yahuwah. You fulfill your promises. Yahuwah. You say it. Yeah. Fulfill your promises. Yahuwah. You. Yeah. Fulfill your promises. Yeah. You keep promises. Say every word you say will come to pass. So you keep promises. Yeah. You keep promises. Yeah. Say you keep promises. Yeah. You keep promises. So you keep promises. Keep promises. Here we go. See, I put my trust in you, yeah. Your word will never return void. It will accomplish all that you promised. You cannot lie. Oh, I put my trust in you, yeah. Your word will never return.
Same to you too, my brother. Same to you too. Y'all can like, share, and subscribe if you can.
Fulfill your promises. You fulfill your promises. You always do what you say. You fulfill your promises. Yeah.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? Happy Sabbath day, happy Sabbath day. This is the day that the Most High have made, so let us be glad and rejoice in it. Yeah, like I say, the Sabbath day. Be glad and rejoice in it. I hope everyone have had a great week this week. I hope the Most High have really, truly blessed you over and abundantly with love, kindness, and peace. I hope he has blessed you with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. And I hope he has blessed your children, your offspring with wisdom and knowledge and protection. Yes, I hope he has. Yes, Junior, I see. You say, I see you, and I see you calm, cool, living in the spiritual realm, not in this materialistic world. God bless you. Thank you, my brother. Same to you as well, my brother. Um, yes, he has. He has woke me up this morning. But my week has been a great week this week. The Most High have really truly blessed me. You know, with just wisdom and knowledge and understanding, if nothing else. He has blessed me with that to be able to see things from a different viewpoint, to be able to see things not from my way of viewing it, but from his way. I can't say this week has been trying though. It's been very trying. And it's tough because of all the things that this world is going through, everything, even when it comes down to relationships. Relationships and all of that, you know. So I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna get started, right? I remember last week when I was talking about the signs of how we could tell that, hey, how you doing, Sabrina? How you could tell that the U.S. is falling, right? And I said that you could tell by the same way that how all the other nations failed. It was political, it was economical, it was cultural, it was agriculture, and it was the climate. And what hit me the most is about the social and cultural signs of how you can tell that a country is falling. And when you look at the relationship between men and women in the United States today, they're horrible. It's only very few people are being able to be successful in their relationships because scriptures say that man foes shall be in his own households, and then it says scriptures say that woman shall daughter-in-law shall be against mother-in-law, and mother-in-law against father-in-law against son-in-law against father. But then it also talks about we shall be lovers of our own self, boasting and being prideful and all of that. And when we look at that, right, we're looking at that as being self-centered and selfishness. And that actually brings down the community as a whole, society as a whole, when we are selfish, when we are doing things the way we want to do it. And it hit hard to me this week because if you look at American society, it's men against women, women against men, with this T-app and this T-app born and all of these types of things. And if you look at TikTok, man, just relationships, period, it's horrible. It really is horrible. And that's one of the signs of society breakdown. When a man and a woman do not have a good relationship, that's societal breakdown. That means that they're not being productive. That means that they're not being successful. They're not producing anything but destruction. Even when it comes down to LGBTQ community, you know, you have so much in that dynamic within itself, you know. So when I was looking at that, and Most High just put it on my spirit to talk about that for a few minutes this morning, because we have to look at it and understand that Most High said, Yahshua HaMashiach said, when I come back, I didn't come back to bring peace. I came back to bring a sword. I came back to bring strife. He came back to bring a testing. That's what he actually came back to bring. And he's testing you and your heart, your mind, your spirit to see if you really truly love him or not. Because if you love him, you'll keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, and you'll be obedient to them, right? But when you look at society today, and if you're not studying the word, you won't understand. People won't understand where we are in society, where we are as a whole, because they're so consumed with the world and how the world is and how everything else is, and they can fall into the hands of the snares. They can fall into the snares that the world puts out here for them. Because everything is a divine order, right? And when we look at the divine order, everything is a divine order, right? I'm just jacked up this morning because of just how I'm able to see how the world is. Ephesians 5:23 says this right here. Wives, submit yourselves unto your husband as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. Right? In order for the women not to be cursed or go through any harsh judgment, they have to be submissive to their husbands. And that is a divine law. And when women are not, and when you look at society today, right, most women are not submissive to their husbands. Most women are following and practicing the feminist and the progressive movements of society, which is actually deteriorating society as a whole. And I don't think that we actually truly understand that, because it affects everything around us when we're out of order, when we're out of line. And if we say we love Yahuwah, we love the Lord, we'll be in divine order. We'll be doing what the Yahuwah say do. But we can't be in divine. We can't say we love Yahuwah and not being in divine order. And if you don't trust or respect the person that you're with, you might need not to be around them or get away from them, because the fact is, if you don't respect or trust the person that you're with, it's taking you out of your divine order. And you might need to get with somebody who you trust and respect, so that you can be in the divine order, so that you won't lose your place out of the promised land. And I think that's very important. And that's even with man. Man need to be able to be in the divine order with the Father, so that we will not lose our place in the promised land. But when we look at society today, man, it really is hardening, because the simple fact is that's one of the signs of a nation being destroyed from within. That's one of the signs that this nation is falling as a whole. But I just wanted to bring that to you today, because that's what the Spirit has really been showing me this week, is that relationships is very important. And when if they're not functioning in the proper manner, that's a sign of decay within the society. You look at police officers with the civil servants of the public, it's horrible. You look at the politicians and the politicians against the politicians, it's horrible. So when you look at nationalities against nationalities, it's horrible. So when you look at all these relationships issues, Africans against African Americans, Latinos against African Americans, whites against, Europeans against blacks and Latinos and immigrants, it's just horrible. But we're not realizing that those who are involved in that negative actions are falling up under the curses. If you are for immigration, if you're for deporting people out of the United States, you are not up under the commandments of the Most High. If you believe in feminism, you're not up under the laws of the Most High. If you believe in these politicians and what they're doing in society, you're not for the Most High. Anything that goes against humanity and you are against it, or breaking up relationships, you are not with the Most High. You will not be in the new promised land. That is a promise. If you're doing anything that goes against the Most High, you are not going to be in the promised land. You got to allow the Most High to bring the judgment on the people, and you just be the best that you can, because the simple fact is, because it's not for you to bring the vengeance. It is up to you just to do your job. As society as a whole. But let me go to Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Because I think we as a people, man, we're in some tough situations. We are really in some tough situations. And we got to be able to understand where we at. We got it because our soul and our spirit is on the line. Our soul is on the line. Our soul and our spirit is on the line. Even our life is on the line. And we don't even look at it that way. Our life, our blessings, everything, because of how we act, is on the line. Exodus 20, verses 1 through 17, it reads, And Ananiah spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy Ananiah, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other Ananias before me, and thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heavens above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahuwah, thy Ananiah, am a jealous Ananiah, visiting the iniquities of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahuwah thy Ananiah in vain, for Yahuwah will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy works, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahuwah, Yahuwah thy Ananiah. In it thou shalt not do any works, thou nor thy sons nor thy daughter, thy manservants nor thy maidservants, nor thy cattle, nor thy strangers that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahuwah made the heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore, if Yahuwah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, honor thy mothers and honor thy fathers and thy mothers, that thy days be long upon the land which Yahuwah thy Ananiah giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbors, and thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's house, and thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor. Same to you too, Edit World, man. Whoever that may be, you're amazing too. And remember, you're amazing. Yes, you are amazing, Edit World. Thank you, my brother, whoever that may be. Okay, it says, O creators of the heavens and earth, and all radiance and vibrations, Soften the grounds of our beings and carve out a space with us where your presence can abide. Fill us with your creativity so that we may be empowered of our mission. Let each of our actions bear fruits in accordance with our desires within your purpose for our life. Bestow us with the wisdom and produce and share what each being needs to grow and flourish. Untie the tangled thread of destiny that binds us as we release others from the entanglement of past mistakes. Do not let us be seduced by that which distracts us from our true purpose, but illuminate the opportunities of present moments, for you are the ground and the fruitful vision, the creator and power and fulfillment as all is gathered have as whole as once again, as all is gathered and made whole once again. So let it be. Yes. If you can turn to Numbers, chapter 32, verses 10. Because I want us to understand something. And the Most High put this on my heart from last week, because everybody has a responsibility. Everybody has a responsibility. And everybody's going to be judged according to your responsibilities. And because if you're a teacher, if you're a pastor in the Christian church, or whatever you are and whoever you are, whether you're a father, son, mother, daughter, wife, husband, whatever you are in your realm of life, you're going to be judged according to who you are and what you have done on this realm. Even within the body of doing the will of the Father, you're going to be judged according to that. And that is very important for you to understand, because if you're a mother, you got children that you're raising. And he told us to study the word day and night so that we can raise our children in the ways that they should go. If you're a father, you're supposed to be doing the same thing. If you're a friend, a neighbor, it says, love thy neighbor as thyself. If you're a husband or a wife supposed to submit, husband's supposed to love. So whatever anybody does, you're going to be judged according to your position and what you did on the earth. And I want you to understand that. It says in Numbers chapter 32, verse 11, it says, surely none of the men that came up out of Egypt from 20 years old and upward shall see the land which I swore unto Abraham, unto Isaac, unto Jacob, because they have not followed me. Or because they have not wholly followed me. And the Most High was saying is, everybody 20 years and above won't make it into the promised land. And it's like, why are they not going to make it into the promised land? Because they haven't followed after the Most High. That's something that we got to look at and examine in our life today. Am I able, with everything that I'm done, what I'm doing in my life today, would I make it into the promised land if the Most High came back today and tried to take me to the promised land? Would I make it into the promised land if the Most High said, okay, I'm going to put you on the line and I'm getting ready to start judging you? Would you make it into the promised land? Would you do it? And that's something that you're going to have to ask yourself, because of you judging your own self and don't let nobody else judge you. If you're a husband, have you loved your wife? If you're a wife, have you submitted to your husband and been respectful and treated him the way you want to? Kids, have you been obedient to your parents? And all of that, those three people, have you followed the law, statutes, and commandments the way the Most High wanted you to? And see, that's something I think we got to understand, is that the Bible say that people are not going to make it. You're not going to make it. If you are disobedient, and I was looking at, I was at AT&T one day this week, and I was talking to this young man, right? And he told me that most people don't live in their reality. They live in a delusional world. They live in the TikTok realm, the Instagram realm. They live in the YouTube realm. They live in the Messenger realm. But they do not live in their reality. And that is something that stops them from being the best that they could be, is because they don't live in reality. And when you don't live in reality, it makes you do things that are not up under the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. But I want to talk to you about the children of Israel, right? And why a lot of these people will not make it into the promised land. Why the people won't make it into the promised land in the times of this, in ancient times, and why people won't make it in the present time. Why people won't make it into the promised land. Why they are not going to make it, okay? I want to give you two words, okay? The two words I have today is believe. Believe means to credit upon the authority or testimonies of another. It means to be persuaded of the truth of something upon the declaration of another, or evidence furnished by reason, arguments, and deductions of the mind, or by other circumstances. Believe means that you're going to give credit to something because of what you have seen and something that you have heard. Okay? Then it says trial. Trial is a mid-15th century word. It means examination by test, experiments, as in chemistry. Then it says the act of examining by experiences. Suffering that puts strength, patience, of faith to the test. Trials put your strength, your patience of faith to the test. Okay? And I want to give you the title of the text today. The key verse is verse 11. It says, surely none of the men that came up out of Egypt from 20 years old and upward shall see the land which I swore unto Abraham, unto Isaac, unto Jacob, because they have not wholly followed me. The title of the text, everyone will not make it to the promised land. And some reasons why people are not going to make it. It's some things that's going to take place on why people are not going to make it. Things are going to happen within the person to make them not make it into the promised land. Okay? But let me give you a backstory of the children of Israel being in Egypt. How the children of Israel got into Egypt was because it was a famine going on in the land. And the children of Israel, they were suffering, so they wandered. They heard that Egypt had some food, that they could be able to go try to buy some food from the Egyptians, not knowing that their brother Joseph was in Egypt waiting on them to be able to take care of them. So when the children of Israel and the 11 brothers got to Egypt, they went to their brother Joseph, and Joseph fed them and took care of them as long as Joseph lived. And Jacob died in Egypt. Okay? So as long as Joseph was living, the children of Israel was doing fine. They had a healthy life. They were living in the land of Goshen, and nothing was bothering them. No, they had a perfect life. They had a good life. So once Once Joseph died, there was a new Pharaoh that came in and took over the land of Egypt. But the Pharaoh was intimidated by the children of Israel, and he was afraid of them. So he caused the children of Israel to go into slavery through manipulation. The Pharaoh manipulated the children of Israel to go into slavery, but also the Pharaoh and the Egyptians was afraid of the children of Israel because of the power and the strength that the children of Israel had the abilities to be able to overpower them and what they could do to the Egyptians. But the children of Israel was dedicated to Egypt. But the customs in Egypt is that the Egyptians had many gods. They believed in Pharaoh as the head ruler. They believed that Pharaoh was the god of the Egyptians. He was the ruler. He controlled the whole land. Even though this country was an agricultural base, they did believe in God, but it's called the Ra, Amun-Ra. It was the sun god. But they also believed in many gods, while the Egyptian believed in many gods. So when the children of Israel was in Egypt, they took on the customs of the Egyptians by believing in the same thing, believing in many gods. They believed in gods that was snakes. They believed in gods that were calves. They believed in all these hand-carved gods that really went against their cultures prior to Joseph passing away. So now they was living, the children of Israel was living very well in Egypt. Even though they was living up under a paganism country and being enslaved, the children of Israel felt like they was doing very well. Just like African American people today that lives in America. America worship many gods. They worship gods with wood and stone. They worship the statues. They worship the sun god because most Christians go to church on Sunday, which is Sunday sun worship. And they also believed in all the material possession. They believe that their president is the ruler that saves the day. There's no different in our society today compared to what was going on in Egypt. The people did not believe in the spiritual deity, that there's only one creator, which is Elohim, or which is Yahweh, which is I am that I am, the great spirit over the whole universe. They didn't believe in that God. They believed in the physical deity that they actually can see. Like most people believe that President Trump is the God of this earth. So when we're starting to look at that and look at the mindset of the people, now the Most High is getting ready to take them out of Egypt because of their complaining. They were complaining to the Most High that, hey, we're tired of the oppression of Pharaoh that's coming against us, okay? This is the beginning of the Exodus. This is the beginning of why the children of Israel started to leave. The Most High heard their voice while they get ready to leave out of Egypt. Is because of Exodus 3 and 9. It says, now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me. And I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptian oppressed them. Come now therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my children, my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. That was the very beginning of the Exodus out of Egypt. It was when the children of Israel started to cry out. And we've been crying out for a long period of time. So now when the children of Israel is getting ready to come, they're not looking at the spirit that was leading Moses. They was looking at Moses as the deity that brought them out of Egypt. It's just like now when we look at life, we look at the man and we don't look at the spirit that's leading the man. And when we don't look at the spirit that is leading the man, we'll think that man is doing the work. Shalom, my brother Greg. We'll look at if it's man that's doing the work, but it's actually the spirit that's guiding the man. The spirit that was guiding Moses was in verse 14 in Exodus. The spirit that was guiding Moses was in Exodus 3 and 14. And it says, and God said unto Moses, no, okay, go to verse 13. And Moses said unto Ananias, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel and shall say unto them, the Ananias of your father has sent me unto you. And they shall say to me, what is his name? What shall I say unto them? And Ananias said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am has sent me unto you. So now when Moses is coming to the children of Israel, and Moses is talking to the children of Israel about their deliverance, and Moses is going to tell them, I am sent you to me, to you, so that I can deliver you out of the hands of the oppressors. They're going to be so discombobulated. They're not going to understand because they're so accustomed to living in the land of Egypt where they identify Pharaoh as their gods. The material possessions of the thing of the Egyptians is what they worship, and their way of life is only totally submitting themselves to Pharaoh and their government. They're not going to be used to dealing with the spirit that is going to be able to deal through Moses to provide for them the things that they need. They're going to be looking at Moses because that's what they're so used to dealing with. They're so used to man being their salvation and not the great spirit itself. So it's so now when we're looking at society in America today, right? Around the global. When we're looking at things, we're looking at the people who's head of the country as if they are making the moves. But in actuality, it's the spirit that's in that person that is guiding that person to make the moves that they're supposed to be making. Because this is what it says in Ephesians 6 and 12. Because I want us to understand that. We got to understand that. We got to look at the spirit that's guiding the person and not the person itself. Because it says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. So when we started to look at the spirits that's in the person, we won't necessarily look at the person, we'll look at the spirit that's guiding the person, which we would be able to normally say. We also, sometimes we do it unconsciously because we'll say, that's a man of God right there. And the reason why we say that's a man of God, not because of how he looks, but because of the spirit that's in the person. We also can say, oh, that's a wicked person right now. Because of the energy and the spirit that person gives off, and you can tell by his actions. So when we're going to looking at it, right, we're looking at it as if, I mean, when the children of Israel was coming out of Egypt, That's why they was looking at Moses and giving Moses so much of a problem, because of they thought Moses used witchcraft and sorcery to get them out of the land of Egypt. But it was the Most High that was doing it. Okay? So now hypothetically, right? And we get ready to get started in a few minutes. So say hypothetically, right? If everybody if the Hebrew people in America had to leave, blacks or Hebrew Israelites had to leave the United States, right? And the Most High told them, hey, I need you to go to Mexico because that's going to be the wilderness for you. Okay? And we all had to go on this trail, leaving whatever location you're at, and be able to walk to Mexico, because the Mexico is the wilderness, right? And when we're in Mexico and on this journey, and we got this one ruler that's leading us out of the wilderness into the wilderness of Mexico, it's as if we're going to, and whenever things don't go right on this journey to Mexico, we're going to be looking at the person who's leading us and not the spirit that's leading him. So anytime anything goes wrong, we're going to go complaining to him about the situation and not getting on our knees and praying to the Most High to ask him to intervene for us. Because when we're looking at this guy leading us to the Mexico, we're saying he's our leader, and actually he's not our leader. It's the spirit that's in him that's leading us. He's just a vessel and a tool to be used to take us other places. But people who do not know or believe in the Most High, they're going to assume that this guy is the leader, and he actually is nothing but a vessel. And that is the complication, that is the difficulties of why people do not, that's why the people are not going to make it, because the road is going to be so difficult, because they're so used to believing in man and not believing in the spirit. And so when they're starting to believe in man, they're putting all their hope and their trust in man to get them from one location to another, and not the spirit that is leading the man. But not realizing that that man is following a direction from the spirit. That is why most people are not going to make it, because they're going to be looking at man for help and not the Most High himself. And that's where we live our life today, trusting in man and not trusting in the Most High. And that's something that we got to deal with, because it shows us where we are in life. Because it shows us where we are, because we think that man is doing all this stuff, but he's not. See, it says this right here. Hold on. Go to Psalms 146, verse 3. Because this is what we got to understand, that we're dealing with spirituality, spiritual things, not the physical. That's where it says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. See, in Psalms 146 and 3, it says, put not your trust in prince, nor the son of man, in whom there is no help. His breath goeth forth and returneth to his earth. In that very day his thoughts perish. But when we're looking at it, the children of Israel was putting their trust and their hope in Moses. They was putting it in Pharaoh. And that's why they had so much difficulties in the wilderness. That's why so many people have so much difficulties in our society today, because they're putting their hope in the Democratic Party, they're putting their hope in the Republican Party, they're putting their hope in the Independent Party, they're putting their hope in the governmental system, in the Senate, they're putting their hope in the Congress, they're putting their hope in the judicial judges, the Supreme Court, they're putting their hope in the president. We're putting all our hope in the physical beings of this earth, of this world, but not trusting the Most High. But when we put all our trust and hope in these men, and when things don't go the way it's supposed to go, we are mad, we're discombobulated, we're upset, because we thought this man or this person was supposed to fix our problems. That's what we thought. That's what we was wishing for. That was what we was hoping for. But when it don't happen that way, we are upset, because this ain't the way I thought it should be. So even if the African American people and the Most High came to African American people and the Gentiles, and the Most High came to everybody in the United States, say, hey, I need you to go to Mexico. And I'm going to send you 12 leaders in 4 different areas, so that they can guide you all out of here. Okay? Most people will be pushing their trust in that leader and not putting your trust in the spirit that's leading the man. Because he got to get the direction from somewhere. He got to get the direction from somewhere. So if he's getting the direction from somewhere, shouldn't you trust where he getting the direction from and trust not him? So that's what we're dealing with. These people have been up under bondage for over 230 years. And now the Most High is getting ready to move because of their oppression. And now when they have seen all these miracles coming out of Egypt, they have seen the parting of the Red Sea, they have seen the death of all the children, they have seen the pestilence in the land, they seen all these things, they seen the water turning red, they seen the frogs, they have seen the mosquitoes, they have seen the animals dying, they have seen all these things, but they're looking at it as if Moses was doing it, and not the spirit that's leading Moses to do it. They're looking at that spirit. They're looking at that man as if he had all that power and abilities and anointing to control nature, to kill, to delete all those children at one time, to get rid of all those animals at one time, to crawl all those boils on the people to come at one time, to bring on all those frogs at one time, to turn that water red at one time. They're looking at that one man to be able to control nature the way he's controlling nature, and not thinking about there's something greater behind that man. So now the Most High got you in a situation. He got you in Mexico. How are you going to respond? How are you going to live your life? Are you going to live different than the way the children of Israel did when they was in the wilderness, or are you going to live the same? And are you going to live the same because of how you see how they saw, or are you going to look at things differently than how they saw things? And see, that's something that we got to deal with, because it's going to come a time where we got to get ready to get out of here. America's not going to last. America is not going to last. And the Most High say he's going to bring us from the four corners of the earth. Now, what you going to do about it? How you going to have your mindset? Because I'm finna show you why a lot of people did not make it out of the wilderness. I'm finna show you why they didn't make it out of the wilderness. It's because they really didn't want to get Egypt out of them. I'm going to just go ahead and tell you. A lot of us here in the United States don't want to leave Egypt, don't want to leave the U.S. Some of our spirits are so attached to the Americas. It don't make no. They will go down with the sinking ship because they have so much hope in the Americas that they will be willing to go down with it. So now the Most High got you in Mexico. He got the children of Israel in the wilderness of sin. He got you, and the wilderness of sin is a very dry place. A dry place where only He can communicate to you about who He is to you in your life. And see, that's what the Most High gonna do. He gonna put you in situations where He can only communicate to you and show you who He is. But you got to believe in His position. You got to believe on His position and in His authority. That's what believe means. Believe means I believe that you are the head of my life. But it also saying I believe in you because I know you can heal me. I know you can deliver me. I know that you can feed me and clothe me in a time of need. See, the word believe has two connotations to it. Believe on the name, but believe in the power. And see, a lot of us don't believe on, we might just believe on the name, but we might not believe in the power. And see, that's the difference. Here, they did not even believe on the name or in the power of the Most High. So this is the reason why they were so discombobulated. This is the reason why they were so confused about what was actually going on in the world, because it was an experience that never could have ever existed in humanity. So now when they're doing this, they're going through this moment, now they're discombobulated because they did not ever understand the power of the Spirit. So now when the time came for deliverance, they didn't know nothing about the Spirit had that much power to change and do all the things that it was doing. They didn't know about His name, I am that I am. Ahaya, Esha, Yahaya. They didn't know anything about that. They was only just looking at Moses. So let us turn to Exodus chapter 16, verse 1. Because it says in Exodus 16, chapter 16, verse 1, it says, and they took their journeys from Elam, which is a land that was flowing with milk and honey. They was comfortable in that place. They had palm trees, they had springs, they had it going on in the land of Elam. They was living a luxury life in Elam. Elam was a place like going to the Bahamas or going to the Caribbean. It was flowing with milk and honey, and everything was gorgeous and nice. Okay? And it says, all the congregation of Israel came until the wilderness of Sin. Sin is a dry place, a place only where the Most High can talk to you. They had lizards, they had scorpions, they had spiders. It was a desert place, which is between Elam and Sinai. On the 15th day of the 2nd month after their departing out of the land of Egypt, as the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. Now realizing now, understand something. Hold on, let me go down a little bit further. And the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died by the hands of Yahuwah in the land of Egypt, when he sat by the flesh pot, and when we did eat bread to the full, for ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. See, the wilderness is going to be a test. It's going to be trials and tribulations to see where you are mentally with the Most High. Because the word believe means you're going to believe on his name, and you're going to believe on his position, but you're going to believe in his power. Like people said, if he took you to it, he'll take you through it. That's believing in his authority. And see, a lot of the times when us as people, we get discontent and we complain because we're being tested and we want to get out of the testing situation by murmuring and complaining because we are uncomfortable in this world or in this situation. And a lot of the times we get complaining, we be uncomfortable because we are not where we used to be. Now we're in a dry place and we're not happy in this dry place, but not knowing that the Most High is testing you to see where your mental capacity is for him. Because the children of Israel saw everything that Moses did. He did all the 10 plagues. He brought them out of, he raised the Red Sea, killed all the pharaohs in Egypt. He took them to Elam so they could have a little rest for a minute at a time. Then he taken them to the wilderness. They're not looking at all the great accomplishments that Moses, the Spirit of Most High, did through Moses. They're just looking at where they are right now. And discombobulated and mad because of where they are right now. They had a short memory. Just like most of us today have a short memory. It's not what you did for me yesterday. It's not what you did for me 2 weeks ago. It's not what you did for me last month or a couple of years ago. It's all about what you do for me right now. And that's the way the world works. That's the Egyptian mindset. That's the United States mindset. That's the people, the citizens of the United States. We're microwave people. We got to have it right now. Not realizing that it's not like that. It's not about you. It's about the Most High himself. But when you think it's about you, you're gonna miss the picture. And you're going to lose the test. Because marriage is not about one person. Working on a job is not about one person. Being in a community organization is not about one person. Raising a family is not about one person. And when you think it's all about you, you're failing the test. And you see, none of the children of Israel probably went to Moses and said, Moses, what's going on, man? What we need to be doing in this moment. Because it says in verse 3, it says, and the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died by the hands of Yahuwah in the land of Egypt? They know that the Creator exists. They know who got them out of Egypt, but they still are incontent. They're not content with what the Most High is doing. And that's where we are in this society. We complain all the time about our situation, not realizing that I could be in a much worse place. I could be, the Most High is doing something to me. I don't know what it is. So let me just sit my narrow butt down and ask him, what is he doing? We could be doing that, but we're not. Because we're not happy where we are, we're going to complain about it and want to go back to where we used to be. When the Most High just delivered you out of that. He said, we sat by the flesh plate, and we did eat bread to the full. For ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. They was complaining because of their condition. They're complaining because of where they at. They're complaining about everything. But not just realizing that you ain't in slavery no more. Not realizing that you're not in a bad relationship no more. Not realizing that you got a better job with a little bit more money. Not realizing the positives. Only looking at the negative, that you're hungry. Philippians 4:11. Paul said, not that I speak in respect of wants, for I have learned, in whatsoever state I am, therewith be content. See, a lot of us are not content or happy or satisfied with where we are. And we always wanting and going after other things, but not appreciating the moments and the opportunities that we have at that very time. Because we're never satisfied. It seems like we're never satisfied here in Egypt. We always want to strive and get more and get more and get more and get more, realizing that you're never going to be happy. Because it's always going to be something bigger. It's always going to be something better. It's always going to be something more shinier. It's always going to be something that could grab your attention away from where you are right now. The people was not happy with their situation. They was not happy just being out of the oppression of Pharaoh. But they're complaining about their situation when the Most High just took them out of that place, and now he want to build a relationship with them. But people don't want the relationship with Christ. They just want what Christ has to offer. Let us go to Numbers chapter 20. And I told this guy one day, a place where I work at, this guy came in saying, yeah, the Lord don't did this for me. Yeah, the Lord don't did that for me. Yeah, the Lord don't did this. And yeah, the Lord don't did that for me. But he never told me what he did for the Lord. He never told me anything about what he did for the Most High, but he always telling me what the Most High had did for him. And I told him, I said, you can't keep pimping the Lord. You can't just call on him when you want something. What you doing for him? And see, that's where we are. We always want to pimp the Most High or call on him when we need him. But it don't work that way. But Numbers chapter 20, verses 3 through 5. It says, and when the people chived with Moses and spake, saying, would God that we had died when our brethren died before the Lord? And why have ye brought up the congregation of the Lord into this wilderness, that we and our cattle should die there? And wherefore have ye made us to come up out of Egypt, to bring us in unto this evil place? It is no place of seed, or of figs, or vines, or pomegranates, neither is there any water to drink. See, they was complaining to Moses about their situation, but not realizing that Moses is just a vessel to be used to get them to that place. And the Most High was using Moses. You didn't hear anybody say, well, we need to seek the Most High at this moment. We need to be praying. We need to help Moses. What can we do, Moses? They was only complaining because of what they didn't have, not realizing the Most High was trying to create that relationship, making you depend solely on the Spirit. And see, a lot of us don't want to depend solely on the Spirit. A lot of us want just to depend on what we can physically do for ourselves. That's what most of us want to depend on ourselves and depend on another person, but don't depend on the Spirit. And wonder why we fail. A lot of us don't even want to depend on our husbands. We want to do it ourselves because we feel like we know more than our husband. But if you believe that in the Spirit, that the Most High put your husband in your life, you will listen to your husband. Some of us don't even want to listen to our wives because whatever the situation is. But if you believe that the Most High have given you a wife, you will listen to her. But then when things don't go right because you didn't listen to him, you listen to yourself, now you're mad and looking crazy. Tell me some, why did God let this happen? Well, if you just listened, maybe it would have happened. It wouldn't have happened. But you're always complaining about your situation as if you're not living a good life. 80% of Americans, 80% of the population in America live better than 80% of the whole world. But we, as in America, have the tendency to complain about how we're living when 80% of the population in the United States live better than 80% of the whole world. Not being happy with where we at. Not asking the spiritual question of, Most High, what are you doing in this moment for me? And he might could just be saying, be content. Be happy with where you at. I will add increase when it's time to add increase. But a lot of us are not that way. So could you imagine us walking from just say the state of Georgia to Mexico, and then we get to, say, Mississippi, and we don't have no water, or we don't have no food? How you think the people are going to act? They're going to be complaining to the person who got us there, or they're going to be praying to the Most High? Are they going to be complaining to this man saying, well, you got us down here, you don't know what you're doing, and you don't know what direction you going, and you just don't took us, and you're going to bring us down here to die? Man, I knew we shouldn't have been listening to you, man. I knew we shouldn't have did this. Or are you going to be saying, Father, lead and guide this man to where you want him to take us? Lead him and guide us. Or you going to be saying, shoot, I ain't listening to him. I'm going to go my own way. I'm going to do my own thing because I don't trust him. But you trusted him when you was doing a good time. But you didn't trust him when there was a bump in the road. Last one. Go to Deuteronomy. Chapter 28. 67. It says in verse 67, Deuteronomy 28, 67, it says, in the morning thou shalt say, would God it was evening, and in the eve they shall say, would God it were morning, for the fear of thy heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thy eyes which thou shalt see. We're gonna be complaining because of what we see. We're complaining because of what we see. We're complaining because of what we think we're going through, but in actuality, we're not going through nothing but purification. We're just going through purification, but because of what we think we see is actually not what we see. What we think we're going through is not actually what we're going through. But the children of Israel couldn't see that because they were so consumed with Egypt. We're so consumed with the United States. So what we think we see is not actually what we see or what we're going to be going through. Because it says in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We hoping it's going to be a brighter day the next day, Moses, so keep up the good work, man. Father, I know where I'm at right now and where you want me to be, but I'm hoping that you increase me over the next period of time. Father, I have faith in you that I'm going to be okay. Even though it looks bleak and blim right now, I know you're going to help me make it through this situation. And that's the mentality we got to have. We can't have the murmuring and complaining mentality. Because it shows the Most High that you're not satisfied with what he gave you and what he's doing in your life. That's one of the reasons why most people are not going to make it. They're going to be complaining, never content with where you are. Let us go back to Exodus chapter 16. Let me keep reading. Now they're complaining. They're mad at Moses because of whatever he did. They were never satisfied with Moses because they had so much Egypt in their life. Or we can just go to the convenience store. Or we can just go to McDonald's. Or we can just go to the grocery store and get us some food. Or we can just go to downtown and party. Or well, we got the conveniences at our hand. So they lost all the conveniences because they wasn't able to sit at the flesh pot no more and get full, which is convenient to eat. Now they're mad. The conveniences have been taken away, so they're mad. They mad at the Most High because of all the conveniences have been taken away. But not realizing that the Most High just really trying to establish a relationship with you because he loves you. You're the apple of his eye, and he'll place you above all nations. You're not looking at it from that viewpoint. You're just looking at all the conveniences have been taken. So now you're going to complain. Because it says in verse 33, listen to this again. These people don't have no food. But now they're judging their present situation to their past experiences. It says, and the children of Israel said unto them, would to God we had died by the hands of Yahuwah in the land of Egypt. Listen to this. This is convenience of eating. When we sat by the flesh pot, and when we did eat bread to the full. They would just go somewhere and just be able to eat as much bread as they want to without no problem. Just like we can go down to the grocery, just like we can go straight up the street and get a cup of coffee. We can go to Chick-fil-A. We can go to McDonald's. We can go to all these places just with conveniences. And they're mad that those conveniences have been taken away. For you brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. And they looking at it with the physical. But the Most High said, if I fed the birds and all those, you don't think I'll feed you? You the apple of my eye? You my people? So do you think people that had to walk to Mississippi and there wasn't no food down there in Mississippi, you don't think them people be complaining to whoever that person is? Man, you done brought her down here. Man, what you doing? Not realizing that the Most High is doing something bigger than what he doing. Then said the Lord unto Moses, behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my laws or no. See, even when they were still complaining, the Most High was still taking care of them. And it was all, the Most High was doing all of these things so that he can have a relationship with him. You can have a relationship with him and he can have a relationship with you. But a lot of us don't look at it that way. A lot of us don't see life that way. A lot of us look at it, oh, I am a victim because I don't have what I want right now. Oh, what is he doing to me? But he's just telling you. It says that I may prove them whether they will walk in my laws or no. And he said, I just want to have a relationship with my people. But they acting like this. After everything that I'm done, they still acting like this. Everything that you asked for, I gave it to you. You asked to come out of Egypt. I brought you out of Egypt. I heard your prayers. I heard your cries. I delivered you. I sent somebody to you. But now when I did it, you complaining about where I put you. Shows the Most High you don't even appreciate him. Verse 5, and it shall come to pass on that sixth day, they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. He's giving instructions. He's telling the people what to do. He's telling the people how to do it. He's telling the people all of these things. Listen to this. And Moses and Aaron said unto all the children of Israel at eve, then ye shall know that Yahuwah has brought you up out from the land of Egypt. In the morning, then ye shall see the glory of Yahuwah. For that he heareth your murmuring, he heareth your complaining against Yahuwah. And what are we that ye murmur against us? See, when people are going through hardships or they're going through a desert, they're going through some complications in life, right? They'll cry, oh, the Most High, just bless me. Oh, give me one more chance. Just give me a man. Just give me one. Just give me. But the moment that the Most High give it to you, and it ain't the way you want it, you complain about it. But the thing about it is you asked for what he gave you. And now you're not satisfied with what he did for you. And you're going to complain about it. And he said, you ain't going to complain. You're not complaining against the person who came there. You're complaining to the Most High because you're not satisfied with what he did for you. And Moses said, this shall be when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full. For that the Lord heareth your murmuring, which you have murmured against him. And what are we? Your murmuring are not against us, but against Yahuwah. See, the Most High still can give you stuff in your life, and some people still can complain about what you got. Not being happy with who they are, where they are in life. And not realizing that they're complaining to the person that gave it to them. And he gave it to them because that's what they asked for. And Moses spake unto Aaron and say unto all the children, the congregation of the children of Israel, come near before Yahuwah, for he has heard your murmuring, your complaining. And it came to pass as Aaron spake unto the whole congregation of the children of Israel, that they looked towards the wilderness, and behold, the glory of Yahuwah appeared in the clouds. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, that's right, Greg. I'm finna read that too. It says, I have heard the murmuring of the children of Israel, speak unto them, saying, at eve ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am Yahuwah, your Adonai. He's trying to show you who he is in your life, and he's trying to give you testimonies. He gave you everything you wanted in Egypt. He brought you out of Egypt. Now he's bringing you to a place where he can speak to you, and you can have a relationship with him, and you can believe in him because of what you're doing. But the minute he don't do it the way you want to, you complain against him. In Mark chapter 7, verse 6, Brother Greg put this in. He said, the people honor me with their lips, but they are far from me. That's what a lot of people do. They honor the Most High with their lips, saying, oh, I love the Lord, I love the Lord, I love the Lord. But the minute trials and tribulation kicks in, man, why Lord did this to me? Oh, why Lord did that to me? Oh, why Lord did this to me? Oh, why Lord did that to me? But not realizing that he's just testing you to see where you at. And so you can see where you at. And it came to pass that the evening the quail came up and covered the camp, and in the morning dew laid around about the host. The Most High did what he promised. He did everything that he promised that he would do. He did it. He put people in your life. He gave you money. He made sure you didn't have no accidents. He made sure you had a job. He made sure he provided food for you, but you still complain. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, small as a hoar of frost on the ground. He's providing. But most people still don't want to do it. Let's go down to verse 23. Let's go to verse 23. Another reason why most people are not going to make it is because of their disobedience. People are very disobedient with Yahuwah. In the moment that he gave them the situation that he put them in, that they asked to be put in, they asked to be delivered out of Egypt, but they didn't tell them how they wanted to be delivered. So he put them in Egypt, he took them out of Egypt and put them in a position where they could be able to be saved and have a conversation with them. They complained and murmured, but they also were disobedient. In the situation where they was asked to be in, they were still disobedient. They still wanted to do what they wanted to do, how they wanted to do it, and think the Most High still supposed to bless them. How can you ask the Most High to give you this and give you that and put you in a situation, and when he give it to you, you complain and then you turn around and still be disobedient? How can you be a person of Yahuwah? Go to verse 16, then I'm going to drop down to verse 23. Listen to this. It says, this is the thing which Yahuwah has commanded. Gather it of it every man according to his eating, and omer for every man according to the number of your persons. Take every man for them which are in his tents. Now let's go down to verse 23. And he said to them, this is what Yahuwah has said. Tomorrow is the rest of this holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye will bake today, and seeth that ye will seeth, and that which remaineth overlay up for you to be kept until the morning. For they lay it up until the morning, as Moses bid, and did not stink, neither was there any worms therein. Okay, now let's go to verse 25. And Moses said, eat that today, for today is a Sabbath unto Yahuwah. Today is ye shall not find it in the field. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the seventh day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the Sabbath day for to gather, and they found none. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? Moses gave the people specific instruction on what they needed to do for the Sabbath. He said, gather on the 6th day, gather to get double the amount so you can have some for the 6th and the 7th day. But on the 7th day, don't go out your house, stay in the tents, and just dwell there until the first day of the week comes. Make sure you got enough food in your tent for both days. But don't go out your tent. That was specific instruction on what you shouldn't do. But what did they do? And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none. They found none because the Most High told them it won't be none. So now, how many of you all, the Most High have given you everything that you asked for, and you still became disobedient? And why did you become disobedient? Because you thought it was about you and not what the Most High was doing in your life. Children of Israel was thinking about them and not the Most High. How many of the people you think that had to walk from Atlanta, that would have to walk from Atlanta to Mississippi, would be obedient on the road trip? How many people you think would go crazy and just go against everything everybody else saying? How many people you think would be like that? because they're going to think it's all about them and what they want, how they want it, and the way they want it. And not by what the Most High is trying to do to them, do for them and in them. Let us go to Numbers chapter 12. Numbers chapter 20, verse 12. Verse 11, it says, and Moses lifted up his hands with his rod. He smote the rock thrice, and the water came out abundantly. And the congregation drank, and their beasts also. And Yahuwah said unto Moses and Aaron, because ye believe me not to sanctify me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore ye shall not bring this congregation into the land which I have given them. See, Moses and Aaron wasn't able to go into the promised land because ye believe me not and did not what I asked you to do. And see, that's something we don't even look at. Am I being disobedient am I being obedient or disobedient on my path to the promised land? Because being disobedient can take you out of the promised land. Doing things the way you want to do them, how you want to do them, the way you want to do them can take you out of the promised land. That's just something you got to think about. Go to 78 and 10. Psalm 78 and 10. Whatever you ask for from the Most High, and he gives you, if a woman asks for a man, right? And he gives you a man. He gives you what you ask for. You can't complain and not do what the man, not do right by the man and expect for the Most High to bless you with that man. Man, you can't ask for the Most High to give you a woman and you complain to the Most High about the woman and then don't do right by the woman and think you're going to be blessed by the people. That don't work that way. You can't ask something from the Most High and because of your situation and he gives it to you, then you turn around and complain to him about it and then don't do right by it. You can't do that. You can't be blessed in that situation. That's why most people are not going to make it. They complaining and being disobedient. Most High don't bless you that way. Psalm 7, 8, and 10, it says, they kept not the covenant of Ananiah and refused to walk in his laws and forgot his works and his wonders that he had showed them. See, he showed them a lot of miracles, but they still didn't do what he asked them to do. Most of them did a lot of works and wonders in our life, but some of us still complain and be still disobedient. If we come from Atlanta going all the way to Mississippi and we saw many miracles, some people still going to complain and be disobedient because they're going to think it's about them and not the Most High. Pride. The next one is pride. Let us go to Numbers chapter 16. And also say, hypothetically, right? Everybody had to leave and go wherever they had to go, right? The Most High put people in specific places. And the reason why we know he put people in specific places, they did things that was out of the ordinary to show us that he was supposed to be in that position, right? Say hypothetically, Moses was put in that position, so he did all these wonders. He did all these wonders, right? So now that is a sign for us to know that the Most High put this person to lead us. And the only thing we got to do is just make sure we follow his so we can get where we need to go. You know, it's still going to be some people in there saying, I think I need to be the leader. I ain't leading him. I'm going to do what I want to do, how I want to do it, the way I want to do it. He can't tell me nothing. I know the Most High just like he do. I read the Bible. I know the Torah too. I'm with whoever organization I'm with. You can't tell me nothing. You're going to have some people that have that much pride that want to rule and take over what the anointed person has been taught, been trained to do. Go to Numbers chapter 16, verse 2. And it says, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. Listen to that. Read that over. And they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. Famous in the congregation, men of renown. Because I was the leader of this organization, I think I need to be leading the people. Because I was the leader of this organization, I think I need to be doing this. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and Aaron and said unto them, ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy. Every one of them, and Yahuwah is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourself above the congregation of Yahuwah. These men, Kara and Dan and Abiram, they came against Moses because they was jealous of him and because they wanted to be the leaders and not just the followers. Even though they was famous and they was well-renowned, they wanted to be the leaders and not continue to be the followers. Even though they was not anointed to be the leaders, they wanted to take the position of what Moses was doing. And see, that's what's going on. That's what happened in Egypt. Can you imagine you getting all these stiff-necked Negroes, over 100,000 or 200,000 stiff-necked Negroes, leaving Georgia, going to Mississippi? And how many people you think will want to take over those 100,000 people? How many people you think will be fighting to be in charge? Not just accepting the role that they're in, playing a part in the position, because it said now, it said in verse 2, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation and men of renown. They had some position in the assembly. They had some position in the congregation. But they wasn't happy with where they was. They wasn't satisfied with their situation. And they wanted to take on Moses and Aaron's responsibility. Go down to verse 5. Go down to verse 3 again. And they gathered themselves against Aaron and Moses, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and Yahuwah is among them. Wherefore then lift up ye yourself above the congregation of the Lord. They saying, you don't put yourself way above them. Who you think you is, Negro? You think you all this, that, and other, Negro? You ain't nothing, Negro. I can do better than you, Negro. What's wrong with you, Negro? Not accepting Moses' position. And when Moses heard it, he fell on his face. And when he spake unto Kira and to all his company, saying, Even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his. Listen to that. Even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him, even him whom he has chosen when he calls to come near unto him. This do, take your censer, Kira, and all his company, and put fire therein, and put your incense, and put incense in them before Yahuwah tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord doeth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. And Moses said unto Kira, Hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi. Kira wanted to be the man in charge. Kira wanted to be the man in charge. His pride got so much. Yeah, I'm a man of Levi. I'm prince. I'm the prince now. I'm the man that I think I should be in charge because we are the priest Levites and we the people in charge of everything. Not realizing that the Most High gave Moses that assignment. That's the way it is today in marriages, relationships, on jobs, in society as a whole. People never want to play their role in society. They want to do somebody else's job that was assigned to them. Women want to be men. Men want to be women. Women want to take the role of the responsibility of the head of the house, and men just back up and let them take the role. Pride comes into play. Pride will come into play. You don't think if you got 100,000 Negro walking down the Mississippi, you're going to have some control issue, power structure issue? Go down, okay. Let's go to verse 10 and 11. Because Kira wanted to be in charge and push Moses out the way. Then it says, And he has brought near thee to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee. Seek ye the priesthood also. They weren't happy just being in part of the priesthood. They wanted to do everything. And then it says, For which cause both thou and all the companies are gathered together against Yahuwah. And what is Aaron that ye murmur against him? Okay? Then it goes down to, where is it at? Go down to verse 31 and 32. because I'm about to finish. I'm not going to hold you too much longer. Because Kyra and all his congregation had so much pride and wanted to take over against Moses, this would happen. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of the speaking of these words, that the ground caved as under that was under them. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up and their houses and all the men that pertaineth unto Kara and all their goods. See, pride can take you out of the presence of Yahuwah. Your pride, when you think you're better than the average person, you think you're more than who you are, your pride can take you out of the presence of Yahuwah. Not just because you're complaining, not just because you are disobedient, but your pride can take you out of the presence of Yahuwah. Go to Proverbs 16 and 18. It says in verse 17, the highway of the upright is to depart from evil. The highway of the upright is to depart from evil. He that keepeth his way preserve his soul. Pride goes before destruction, as haughty spirits before a fall. See, Kyra's spirit caused him to die. His pride and his position and all of that caused him not to become a part of being part of going into the promised land. You have these types of people that's going to want to take over as we walk to the wilderness. Man, I ain't listening about it. I'm doing it myself. I'm doing it where I want to. Let's go to Psalms 106, 16. See, pride comes from an emotional thing, right? It says in Psalms 106 and 16, it says, they envied Moses also in the camp, and Aaron's the saints of Yahuwah. They opened and swallowed up Dathan and covered the companies of Abiram. See, the reason what causing people to have pride, they envied Moses because of what he was doing. And because of what he was doing, it caused them to have pride and wanted to overtake. When they had pride and wanted to overtake a position, it caused them to die. So when we see Numbers chapter 32, verse 11, it says, surely none of the men that came up out of Egypt from 20 years old and upwards shall see the land which I swore unto Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because they have not wholly followed me. That's the reason why. That is the reason why most people will not make it into the promised land. That's the reason why they back then. That's the reason why it's that, because Solomon said, there's nothing new under the sun. The same behaviors that people have now, they got them back then. And see, the Most High was like this in Numbers chapter 14, verse 11. It says, and Yahuwah said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me? How long will it be error they believe me? For all the signs which I have shown among them. See, the Most High have shown all of us signs and wonders. The Most High have did a lot of things. He's doing it now. In conclusion, I'm about done. The Most High have did a lot of miraculous things in our life. He's doing things in the earth right now as we see it today with cryptocurrency being the mark of the beast. We're going through financial calamities. We're going through societal crisis. We're going through all these things. These are signs and wonders that our society is falling. But the Most High said again, it says again in verse 11, the Lord said unto Moses, how long will this people provoke me? How long are you going to continue to be a stiff-necked people with all the things that I showed you? How long will they provoke me? How long will it be error they believe me? For all the signs which I have shown among them. It's like the Most High is pleading for you to believe what he's saying. Because he's pleading for you you making it to the promised land, not him. He gonna be here whether you here or not. It's just up to you to believe. You just can't believe, oh, I believe in the Most High. You just can't believe on his name and his position. You got to believe in his authority and his power as well. Because you can best believe we getting ready to go through some trials. But you got to understand that everyone will not make it into the promised land. And it's only going to be because of their complaining, their disobedience, and their pride. So, Father, as we come to you today, we thank you, we bless you, we praise you, we give you all the honor and the glory. Father, we thank you for everything that you have done and what you continue to do. Father, we see that the things that you have done in Egypt, we know that you're going to do to the Americas. But Father, we ask that you help those. You take the fish scales off the eyes that you want to take the fish scales off of. We ask that you deliver your people, Abba. We ask that you heal your people. But let us be content with whatever situation we're in so that we can see and build a relationship with you. So that we can be protected as we travel the highways and byways, going to and from our destination. But we also know that we're going to have to go to the wilderness. And we're going to ask you to protect us as we travel the highways to and from the wilderness. Some of us may be on boats, some of us may be on trains, some of us may be in cars to get where we got to go. But Father, we know that we got to be obedient. Let us hear the way you want us to hear, see the way you want us to see, and speak the way you want us to speak. But also let us get an understanding of your word. In your higher name we pray, so let it be. Shalom, 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 everybody. Thank you all for listening, Brother Greg. Thank you for your comments, man. And you all have a blessed one, okay?
I feel like I'm blessed, I feel like I'm cursed, I feel like I'm blessed, I feel like I'm cursed, let me catch my balance. Why I need that balance? I gotta be honest, I never stepped foot in the college, but I'm packing a lot of knowledge, but now that this work is the wisdom is foolish, I'm more like retarded, this shit is so garbage, see me, I'm a scholar, I look into all of the history, I was like, damn, are you kidding me? So many lies being told, it's sickening, you can't believe anything from the enemy, people get mad when you tell them that, they also get mad when you show them facts, I really don't trip, I just fall back, I ain't got time for all all that. Knowledge is power too bad. My people don't want it, they rather be ignorant. I just don't get it. Maybe one day they will humble themselves and shut up and listen. Picture a nation of people who all stood together, who all had the power instead of nobody. In fact, everybody was scared of them because of the God who was over them, giving them all of the secrets like telekinesis to bind up the demons. And knowing I reach, I really believe it. I higher my power, he gave me the vision to see it. And for that, I feel like I'm blessed, I feel like I'm cursed, I feel like I'm blessed, I feel like I'm cursed, I feel like I'm blessed, I feel like I'm cursed, I feel like I'm blessed, I feel like I'm cursed. Let me catch my balance. Why I need that balance? I feel like I'm blessed, I feel like I'm cursed, I feel like I'm blessed, I feel like I'm cursed, I feel like I'm blessed.